Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Sadasivasamaarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryandam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sagana Bhavatu Sagano Punattu Sakaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvina Vadidamastu Ma Vitvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivasvataraya Matve Brahma Vidyacharya Nachikedasya. Good morning. So we are in the first Adhyaya of first Valli of second Adhyaya of Kathopanishad. Hopefully we will finish it today, this Adhyaya, this Valli. Here, the essence of this Valli is to give the moksha sadhanam as abhedam as our knowledge. Abhedam means non-difference. Non-difference with what? If you take the whole universe, including yourself in there, it can be grouped into three categories or three baskets. I, myself, the Jiva, everything I deal with, the Jagat, and Ishvara, the causal Brahman for these two. So the question is, are these three different, Bedam, or not different, Abedam, or in between, Veda, Abheda, Veda, Abheda. So you have these three different schools of thought exist. So Vedam, you don't need anybody to teach you because naturally you will see everything is different from you. So Vedam exists. Beda means, yeah, this difference exists for some time but doesn't exist for some other time. It exists here but not there. This kind of schools of thought is there. The Visesha Dvaitam they are. And there is another thought, truth, that is, there is no difference. Abhedam. Abhedam is Advaitam. So the mukti we are talking about, immortality, requires for us to understand, see, practice non-differences in everything else. That is the essence of this section. In the first 9 mantras, the Yamadharma Raja imparted the abhedam between Ishvara and Jiva. How did he do that? If you remember, to leave which you don't consider as you out of scrutiny, and therefore whatever you are left with that you consider that it is you, that is taken as a comparison to Ishvara. We do the same thing for the Ishvara. I don't consider this body as me. It is merely a tool, not this mind, not the emotions. So who am I? So I am that Chaitanyam in me, the awareness in me. Then the Upanishad said, exactly. There is also the same case with Ishvara. Ishvara also have Virata Purushaka, Hiranyagarbha, Pranaka, Andaryamika. So he compared. Then in the 10th mantra, the Jagat difference is gone. You remember what is the 10th mantra? Yadeveh Tadamutra Yadamutta tadatviha. Whatever is here is there. Whatever is there is here. If you don't know this, if you don't understand this, if you don't see it this way, mrityoho mrityum apnoti. You will be, in fact, the threat that Yama is giving. If you don't see abedam, you will be dying, born, die, death, birth comes, cycle comes through. Then in the 11th mantra, he said, okay, if you want to know this, there is a tool you need. Manasaivedamaptavyam neha nana asti kimchana. With your mind alone, you can understand this. What you can understand of the mind, that there are no differences, abedam. How do you understand this? See, when you bring, first of all, let's put a logical reasoning why abedam must be true with Shruti as the basis. If Ishvara, a Brahman, is infinite, Purnam, Purnamadaha, Purnamidam. If it is everything is complete, then it cannot be different from me. Because the moment I say Purnam is different, I am different, the Purnam becomes Apurnam. So it doesn't hold good. So the Shruti Vakyam is Satyam. But what we are trying to do, because our Shraddha is not 100% on Shruti, we use Yukti, we use the logic to find out how can I be confident in Shruti Vakyam? How can I apply my logic to it? For that, you need a mind. Manasai Vedamaptai. Okay. How do we use the mind, for example? I say this and that. How can you say, Raja, this and that are the same? This is different, that is different. Different objects. This apple, even among the apples, apples are different. Of course, then you realize it's a nama rupam. If you cut the apple, skin it off, you don't see the difference in apple. So the nama rupa guna visesham that makes, we talk about the physical aspects of it. There is difference. We can see differences. The idea is you don't conclude differences. Differences appear to be there as though there are many, but there is no difference. This is the lesson we are trying to learn. Now we understand why it is correct. So physical aspect, if we take it, what does the physics do? Physics takes all the physical objects and how they relate to each other. This is different, that is different. Then we say, no, 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 it is a norm and the name and the form. Then chemistry comes in. Chemistry says, well, I look at it now, these are all formed by atoms and molecules. So carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, these are the molecules. If you take a sugar, it has got a structure, C12, H12, H21, whatever it is, this chemical component there. A little bit of change in that becomes alcohol. It's a different subject. So chemistry tells that to the physics, there are different objects, and mechanically you can see them. But then composition, when you go in a subtle form, the form that you cannot see in a molecular structure, how they combine create liquid, gases, solid. So the guna vishesham changes by the composition of it. So we learn from the chemistry, oh, okay, that means they may look different. When they go to atomic level, a carbon atom is a carbon atom. How it forms a sugar crystal or alcohol is how it combines with others. So if I am looking subjectively for each object, what it is made up of, same material, then physics goes there. It becomes a particle physics now. Let me now see how these particles interact with each other. So the all this external dynamics theory goes into the particle physics and say, well, all these atoms work on energy. They move because there is a mass difference. So mass energy equation comes in. So physics again tried to build a tool set for us to use in this world, but the differences have been subsided now. At the particle physics level, there is no apple or a banana. It is carbon atom or hydrogen atom, or how they move, or what energy is moving. You can see as you grow detailed into the composition of a product, the differences disappear. At some stage, science will come to the conclusion all these are made up of these five primordial elements called Panchabhutas. Then the Panchabhutas goes into the Maya Shakti, to the Brahman. So you can see that for all the differences you see, this and that, when you go in detail, there's no difference. But I see a difference. Yes, you deal with the difference. The difference is superficial, it is not real. You don't conclude there's difference for it. I use this knowledge using my mind to manage my life propositions well. That means I don't get attached to objects because they are the same. If I have a old car, somebody got a new car, functionally, as long as it's good, I'm not having any jealous or greed because after all, this is an object that will decay, die. It's exactly not eternal one. Then we have here and there. The differences here, the differences there in space. Tell me, is the space different? Can you divide the space? The whole concept of here and there is an artificial construct that we made. Space is all pervasive, it's infinite. We call it here because my here is this room. So the here is not in the space, here is in the Nama Rupam I brought in. This wall, the wall makes it in and out. No, the moment I stop the wall, this becomes this and that is an object. It can decay. It's nothing. It's not real. So space is continuous. The here and there differences are artificial. Transactionally, they may appear to be there. I may deal with this, but I deal with this with the view that it is the same. So the Ganges in Kashi is Punyam. What about the Thames here? Is it not Punyam? Why I say that? Because Ganges in Kashi, it's a different place. But why the difference comes in? I put in a boundary. So all waters are pure. Thames is Ganges. You see, so your perspective change. You see divinity everywhere. The whole idea of moksham is not the Vishwarupa Darshanam we saw in Bhagavad Gita. It is not to show a person with multiple heads. No. Vishwarupa means seeing God in all the form of the world. That means everything you see is divine. Only then you can see the abhedam in everything else. What about now and then? I was young those days. You can look at the photographs. Now I am old, right? But do you say that you are different? My form was different. My body was different. But they are my possessions. I'm not different. But then the now and then Again, time is not divisible. We divide into our own convenience. Seconds, hours, minutes. Do you think really time is like this? Time is attentum. It is not. It's not split into many aspects of it. No, we say Bhuta Bhavishyam, no, past and the future. There is no past, there is no future. Because you attach a vector to it. Space is time. Space is no direction. The moment you want to put direction to the space, time comes in. Time is a vector quantity. It goes, we think it's going positive, forward. Then there is a past comes in, future comes in. You cannot live in the past, you cannot live in the future because your life is in the present. Now, again, if you understand this well, when you are grieving for something that has happened in the past, somebody died, a loved one, and you think about the person and you grieve, right? What are you doing? You are actually bringing the past into your presence because to live, you need to be in the presence. To experience, you need to be in the presence. You have no other option. You cannot go anywhere. You cannot go to the past. You cannot go to the future. You only live in the present. Same way, the future. I'm worried about what's happened to me tomorrow. Can't worry. That means you are trying to bring in a future into your presence and you put some worry to it and you enjoy worrying. Go ahead and do it. It is of no value. But don't I have to plan the future? I have to plan my future. Yes, you can plan your future, but the planning happens in the present. Understand? These are all subtle points. This is for you to contemplate. I'm not saying you don't use the time. We use the time, space, differences, we use it. But you manage it with the view that time is mithyatvam. That means I don't need to worry about what is gone. I don't need to be fear about what is going to come. When it comes to the presence only, you have to deal with this. So these are the essential benefits of Vedanta because even no psychology, no psychotherapy will give you that. Vedanta clears your mind. So there is no space difference, time difference, vastu difference. So abedam is therefore essential to do that. Now this knowledge, see even here in this mantra you see, manasai ved aptavyam neha Nana asti kinchana. Kinchana. Not even a small difference. Nana asti. Nana means differences. Bedam. Kinchana. When a slight differences. Neha na asti. Asti is what? Asti is the present tense. Asit is the past tense. Bhavishyadi is the future tense in Sanskrit. It says asti. There is no difference exist now. I think this is important because some Veda philosophies, scholars, they come to the conclusion that, yeah, I agree with you. There is no difference. But the difference is only before the Pralayam, before the Srishti, or after the Srishti. There was Advaitam before the Srishti. Everything was one. Once the world has come, everything is different. Therefore, difference is real. That's why to destroy that, here it says, the Upanishad says, so after seeing this mantra, how can you ever argue on the Vaitam? Asti, at this very moment, there's no difference in anything else. How do I know it? Manasai Veda. But my mind is not really picking it up. I still see Manimama different from me. His personality is different. I am different. I treat him differently. How can I be one? Now, here we have to think about it. The mind has to be, look at how the mind works. All this I'm thinking now, talking about mind learning things, it's called pravritti vijnana. Vijnana means applied knowledge. Pravritti means everything externally. So you acquire knowledge. So when you acquire knowledge, our knowledge is 99.9%. If you look at all the subjects, is about an object outside you to be used, to be manipulated. I want to manipulate the Mars and the moon, manipulate the neutrons for a high generative energy, manipulate the person to get me happiness. So everything we do, pravritti, bring it outside and apply the knowledge to it. So this pravritti vijnanam happens by our buddhi. The mind does two things simultaneously. One, it goes out and collect the knowledge. I told you about what it is called. It's a bit technical, but it's useful to know. Vritti Vyapti. Vritti means thought. Vyapti means the thought covers an object. I am looking at this book. The book is been covered by my thought. My mind becomes buddhi, book. Then I become aware of the book. Then I deduce about the book with my memory, with my intellect. This happened by two steps, simultaneous steps. Prithivyapti and Palavyapti. What is a Palavyapti? Is the capacity to be aware. If I am not thinking about you, but I'm looking straight, I cannot really see. Or if a blind man looking at it, the object is in front of him, the light goes, it hits his eyeball, he doesn't see it. There's no power to see. The power that is coming to make the mind create thought and analyze called palavyapti. That comes from the Atma. The Atma illumines the brain, and the Buddhi. Buddhi becomes, what's the word? Chitabhasham. It takes it. So two things, Prithivyapti, Palavyapti. Both happens simultaneously. We need both. That's why sometimes you are looking at me, but you are not seeing me because your mind is somewhere else. Vritti brought it. The Palam has not gone and endorsed that one. We need to use both. Problem is, many Upanishads says you cannot see the Atma with mind. If you see by mind, by buddhi, becomes an object, then how can I do it? Why do we, if that is the case, why are you in this class? Why are we learning Vedanta? You need buddhi to listen to. So that is not the meaning of it. The meaning is, listen carefully, the meaning is the mind or the buddhi is an important instrument to get Atmajnanam. But the way the buddhi works in Atmajnana Anubhuti is not by your Chitabhasa, not by your power of buddhi. You don't need a reflected light. But you still have to have the vritti vyapti. You have to have an effort. You have to learn. Example will make it clear. Suppose I say, Ramesh, go to the dark room. The room is very dark. Go inside, and there's a book there. Bring it. Now, Ramesh goes to the room. It is dark. He thinks, how can I look at the book when it's dark? So he brings a light and then he looks for it. There's a book. This light he brings in is the Chidabhasa, your reflected consciousness in you, your powerful mind. Then there are two things happen. The torchlight goes onto the book, your senses go and take it, vritti, you bring it back. Right? This is common sense, right? I'm putting a lot of technical words, but this is how it happens. Every time you look at something, there is an awareness of an object, an acquisition of that object into a mind. But if I say, go to the room, there's a candle which is lit up, bring it. Now, if you go to the room and there's a candle which is blossoming, do you need another light for it? You don't need. What happened here? You still have to go and open the door, but the light is Swayam Prakasham. It is there, just blossoming. You don't need a touch. This, if you understand this, then you understand Manasai Vedam Tavyam. Only by mind, eva. Only by mind you can acquire the knowledge. That means you need the mind which is having the Shraddha, Acharya, Agama, Samskrita mind, and with the intent to know about the Atma Vicharam. The moment you start opening the door, the dark room is the avidya. When you open the door, that you require a buddhi. You don't need anything else because there it is, Swayam Prakash. Actually, it is not an object. So the Drishya Vivekavadam will get supporting this one. You are not seeing that as a seeing object. You become that light. That's the idea of it. Okay. So the lesson we take from that is we can see differences, but you see the differences as though many, plurality. Sanatana Dharmam, even gods are in plural. What does plural means? Plural means one is many. It is not different. Plural. We don't have a different gods. People don't. People say sometimes in Hinduism we have different gods. No, we have plurality of gods. God. The God is appears in so many different forms. Like I appear as a father to my child, a friend to you, a teacher to somebody, a student to somebody else. So I have different forms and names. I am just the same person, plural. So that's how it is. So you have see the world as a plurality, and you don't have any such a different. But when you are looking like this, when you are looking internally with the Shraddha to witness the swarupam of it, that buddhi is called alaya vijnanam. See, if you learn Sanskrit words itself, you can learn Vedanta, you can learn Sanskrit language, grammar, because they are so much perfect and so pregnant with detail. Pravritti Vijnanam is your applied knowledge. You need it in this world. Alaya Vijnanam is your Adhyatma Vidya. That means Alayam. Layam means where it merges. A is a Shabdam for the Atma. Alayam means where your mind becomes one with the Parabrahman Atma. So that Vijnanam is Alaya Vijnanam. So when you contemplate in what you're hearing now, you are in the Alaya Vijnanam. So you need the mind. But that mind has to be pure. That's why intellectually maybe very good. Like, Duryodhana also had the Acharya to teach him. Agama, he learned Vedas, but he did not attain what he needs to attain. Why? Because His mind was not pure. Virochana, another example. So you have Acharya's teaching, Agama's knowledge, Samadhamadis, all these gunas to be changed. That means you need to have the karma yoga, seva, to focus the mind, do the upasanas. So all this, for example, therefore, not going to give you mukti. Jnanameva kaivalyam. All this is going to give you the mind, adhikaratvam for it. So, and Vedas says every time, if you are say mrityum gacchati, you are going from death to death. It is doing nindana. See, in any text, if there are many points made and some points are condemned in the text, then you don't say the purpose of the text is to promote that what is condemned. No. It's logic, right? So in Vedas, there are a lot of things given and they are condemned as well. That's the reason why when you read a mantras and you therefore deduce Dvaitam is real, God is different, I am different, there's a Swarga, Naraga. But then here it condemns. Then why does it say this? Because it tells you because you need that if you want to play in the samsaric world. Because Vedanta is for redemption. Vedas is a life's manual, how to lead a life, dharmic life. Dharma is a dance of Maya, the rules of Maya. So when you want to be in a Saracharam, in this world, you follow the Dharma. Dharma gives you different birth, death. Veda gives you all this. And then it comes to the point and say, all that is make you from death to death. Then what does it mean? It condemns all these things and then tells you what? Abhedam, Advaitam. So we saw this. Now, okay, I now got the mind is an important point. How do I actually worship or meditate on the mind? So here, the Acharya is taking to a Upasana Margam. Very interesting mantras. Upasana Margam. Two mantras. Angushta Matraha Purusho Madhya Atmane Tishtati Ishano Bhudabhavyasya न ततो विजिगुप्सते then etat vaitat mantra 12 angushta matraha purushaha purushaha here is Ishvara Atma. It is not telling you, it's a upasana mantra. It says the Atma we are trying to find out, etat vaitat, the Atma in you, the Atma you. I have given you mind as your means. Now I am giving you how to use the mind to reach there. It says this Ishvara or Atma or Brahman is Angushta Matraha. Angushta means your thumb. Matra means the Parinama, the measure. Angushta Matraha Purushaha, the Atma is like your thumb size. Atmani Tishta. Madhya Atmani Tishta. Atmani here means your body, yourself. Madhya Tishta. In your body, in the center, in the thumb size, your Atma exists. Okay, the center does not mean physical center. The center here is importance. Like, do you listen to me? Do you get the central point? I say. The central point is not in the center. It's a core point, the important point. The important part in the body where What is the important part of the body? Hridayam. Hriti iti hridayam. A lot of people say it's a right chair, there's a new heart and all that. Just take a physical heart. That itself is a good context for us. The physical heart, hridayam, there, angushta matre, like a thumb size, is there. How is he there? He is there as an akash, as a cavity. It's a gap. There's a space. There's a space of a thumb size in your heart. That is Ishvara. What kind of Ishvara? Ishano Bhuta Bhavyasya. Who knows Bhutaha? Who past Bhavyasya. Whatever is going to come. Who knows all these things? That Ishvara. He is there. Atmanitishtani. You say, what is it? I mean, God is here in a physical place. This is again is called Upalaptisthanam or example place. This is the out of compassion. It is giving the Veda is giving you a focus point for you to realize it. The space in the heart. See what is space is Akasha. Kasha means illumining, light to be seen. Kashi. The Kashi Kshetra. Kashi means a illuminating place. Akasha is that which gives you avakasha. Avakasha is space. What gives you the gap is akasha. But the akasha illumines everything else. So akasha means the illuminating space. Here you can take it as a parabrahma. A few words you must remember. So if I take this cup now, this cup has got a space inside. The cup is called a gata. So you call it gata akasha. A pot, space inside the pot. The outside space is called Mahakasha, the big space. So you can together call it Bhutakasha, physical space, Bhutakasha. Is it the space inside the heart? That's what it means here. There's another Akasha called Chitta Akasha. Chittam means mind. Chitta Akasha, your thinking space. Now in your mind, there are lots of thoughts. You think about your history, your past life, your relatives, your office work, mindful of thoughts. Where are they? The digital space, like a cloud space in your mind. It's a cloud space. Chittam agasa, chittam agasa, chittakasa. The pronunciation is very important. Chittakasa. Now, this space of thought comes from Chaitanyam, right? The light is there, but so the mind becomes sentient. The light of the consciousness is called Chit or Chit Akasa. Chidakasha. Chidakasham is your consciousness. Chittakasam is your mind space. Bhutakasam is the external space. So Chittakasam becomes your Akasam. It mimicries the Chitta. So in the heart of heart, there is a cavity. This cavity, there is a light, there is a space. It's Upalaptisam. It's basically to imagine, for you to give a bhavam for it. Shankara gave a wonderful example to clarify this, And he takes the example of Krishna's Murali, flute. Now Krishna plays, now Krishna's flutes got there are a lot of flutes. Now Venu he plays, uh, Murali, Vamsi, Ananda Varshini. So how many things he says. But the Murali flute gone, the flute has got, holes there. The Murali flute has got a four gaps for the four fingers to play. And the gap between these two holes is Angushtabhya. Yeah, thumbs like maybe 1.5 inch, 2 inches, the gap is there. So the fingers can play. That when Krishna plays, the music comes from that space, right? Now, can you say the space between the two holes is limited? No, it is a space everywhere. But it is indwelling in the Venu, in the Murali, and produces the music, lights up the music. So here the Angushta Matra does not mean a measurement of Atma's size. In Puranas, they elaborate and give you more pictures. No, it's like a heart-like thing. It's like a banana, sorry, in a banyan leaf, and Lord Krishna is sleeping there. All that imagery is beautiful. All this is to focus your mind. Because you remember this, when you are dividing the space and time, when you quantize them, you introduce death. When space is infinite, and when I make it as a finite object, you create an object, but you induce death into it because it will die. When Krishna is born to Devaki, and then he has got a physical form, he brings death within him. We don't call death in avatars, but it is death, decay of the body. See, even death, if you look at it, we talk about the deathlessness, Mrityunjaya. So body is death, right? So we know that now my jiva bhavam doesn't die. When the body is discarded, I go out looking for another body. That's why samsaram comes in. So what happened? So therefore, death is for the body, you say, right? Even then, that is not technically correct. So what happened to the body? The body is either cremated or buried or anything. Then the prithvi part of the body goes to the sand. The water part goes to the water. The agni part goes to the agni. The prana part goes to the prana. The space part goes to the space. Space doesn't go anywhere. It becomes there. So the Panchabhutas, it becomes Panchabhutas. So where is death then? What is dying? This is what Amrita is trying to impart. The death is therefore not any transformation. Even the death is only for the body is a comforting statement, but death doesn't exist. Death is just a fear. Understand this. Death is just a fear. That means I am having fear every day. Means I am dying every day. That is not the final death in the ambulance. Put the lights off. If you are having fear of everything, anything in life, every fear makes you die. So Mrityunjayam is not the final discarding of the body, because that's a freedom. Because you're going to get a new body if you want to, or you get moksha if you want to. So that is not something to be afraid of. You must, in fact, prepare for it. You prepare for it, you will enjoy it. But the bhayam is a death. So if I'm going to be afraid of my death coming imminently, I'm afraid of it every day. What happened to my pension? What happened if my relative is gone away? That's why sometimes you should take a yatra with no money in your hand. You know, just take a phone maybe for emergency case. But just go. Don't plan anything. Leave it to God. Go. You may have some difficulties, but you see how things get resolved. Things will happen. Your prarabdham will let not make you suffer, because if you don't need to suffer, without money, you go, somebody will come and help you. But we don't have the courage to let go because we are having fear. The fear is death. Therefore, we are always in a constant death. This is what Nachiketa is asking. He's not asking about the physical disembodiment. That is very clear. In the Tattva Bodha, you understand, body is not me. But the fear is still in me because I don't know what is going to happen to me. Having known that I'm not the body, if I still have a fear, the fear is because I see Bedam. If the Panchabhutas take back the body, that is a difference. But like it or not, everything moves towards Abhedam. Everything, whenever something is coming comes out of something else, no matter where it goes, it has to go back to where it come from. Why it is going? Not because it loves to go back. It is pulled to go back. It's gravitating automatically. Why? There's no emotion of love there. It is because abhedam. Differences cannot exist. That's why the rain water comes from the sea, it becomes rain, becomes a river. The rivers run back. You go to Ganges, in any part of the Ganges, even 10 feet only depth, or maybe 5 inches depth, you put your hand there, the current is so fast. Where is it going? To where it came from. Who is pushing it? She doesn't know, it's nature, because differences cannot exist. In every relationship, you try to count the differences. And when you are having the perspective change, what is the perspective change here we need? That I need to look for non-difference in everything else. First thing what we do, moment we go somewhere, oh, this food is not good. In Woodlands it's better. If you compare and contrast, find the differences there. Or somebody, you listen to beautiful music. You don't have the capacity to enjoy it because your intellect comes in. Oh, this one is Kalyani Ragam, and I know how it should be sung. This guy is not singing well. You are Beda Buddhi. You miss the life, miss the essence of living it. So this is what it is. All these classes should make us transform our life today. It's empty knowledge is waste of time. So you start looking at the Beda Buddhi. For that, you look at the heart, Idhe Vidya, Hriday Vidya. Bhagavan Ramana calls this Mahayoga, the looking at your own heart. Then the next mantra says, Angushtamatra Purushoha Jyoti Vadhumaka. Angushtamatra Purusha Jyoti Vadhumaka. Ishano Buddha Bhavasya. Same line. Sayevatya Sausya. This Angushta Matra Purusha, he's giving us some quality to it. When you're looking for this Swayam Jyoti inside, okay, sometimes you may think light will come and all that. You don't need to look for any lights coming through. Just be there. Just be as you are, watching things. And whatever you're watching in your mind will go away like a movie because you are detached to it. And what are you watching? You don't look for the Palavyapti. Palavyapti brings you the Srishti, your Jagat Jiva Srishti. No, you just be an observer. Like the child, look, like child is a Mukta Purusha. Childs are liberated. They have children are liberated. Children samsaram the parents carry, of course. So when they are not attached to anything else, they are free. But they observe everything else. Like that you observe everything. But here internally, in a meditative position, you do some japatapas, whatever Ishta Devata you can worship. Slowly you start looking, observing your heart. And he says, Angushta matraha purushaha madhyatmani tishtati. How is that? Jyotihi adumaha iva. Jyotihi, like a light. Iva, like a light. What kind of light? Dhumaka means smoke. Adhumaka means without smoke. We can discuss this for a long time, but I will make it simple. So the light, fire brings smoke. What does the smoke do? Smoke hides the fire. So you cannot see the light. The smoke is there. So I think the Upanishad, by this statement, discharges many schools of thought, which they think this avidya, smoke is like avidya, because it hides things. Whatever is hiding the truth is avidya. Vivarita jnanam or ajnanam. Smoke is like ajnanam, like a cloud hiding the sun. The smoke comes from the fire. Therefore, smoke belongs to the fire. Therefore, the ajnanam also belongs to the Atma. The Atma is got ajnanam. Atma is not chit anymore. You see? Very logical question. But the logic is because they got trapped into this bounded thinking. Ajnanam is anadi, like Ishvara. Anadi means what? Adi means a beginning time. Anadi means no beginning time. Why do we say anadi? I don't know. That's ajnanam. Ajnanam case is that. If I know ajnanam is started this way, ajnanam cannot exist because I know ajnanam. So it is anadi. If I ask you, do you know there is this particular program in television which is a very interesting program to watch? Do you know about this? You say, I didn't know. I tell you this is where it is. Oh, now I know it. Then I ask you a question again. Since when you do not know about this? You cannot answer that. I don't know. I never thought about it. Maybe from my birth. Maybe I don't know. So avidya is anartha. The moment you know it, avidya is dead. So it has got an end. Avidya can end. Avidya means samsaram. Samsaram can end. Avidya means dukkam, bayam. Dukkam, bayam can end. So you don't need to really spend time in analyzing since when my avidya started. Since when my first birth. The question comes in the law of karma. You say, karma, you are born. Okay, next janma because of this karma. Last janma because of the previous karma. Then tell me when it is first started it. No, this argument comes in, Everybody makes this statement. This is inexplicable. You cannot say this. My point is, what's the point of that? You asked the question because you believe in karma. That's why you wanted to know. Now, having known that your head is on the fire, are you going to analyze how the fire started? Who put the petrol? Who put the light? Or you go and put your head in a water. Even if it's a gutter water, doesn't matter, and to put out your fire. That kind of earnestness is called mumukshutvam. I must get out of this bhayam. When you have that, it gets resolved. So here, therefore, it says, Adumaga Jyotihi, that means smokeless fire. So in one shot, the Dvaitavadam is resolved. The avidya is not part of the Brahman. So who carries avidya then? For everything in a house, husband is always good, wife carries all the responsibility. So avidya is vidya rupini. Radha Sashnama. She is a vidya rupini. She is a vidya rupini. She is the one who causes you to be a fool. He is the one causes to be a jnani. So what do I have to do to become jnani? Go and pray to her. If prayer is the only way, pray to her. Ask her that show me, you are the Vimarsharupini. Show me what is that. Then she will say, right, you go to this Guru. The Guru will teach you that which lights me, that which makes me, that Shivam, that Adinalayanam, that Parabrahman is the light. This smoke I remove. Like if you take example of sun as the Brahman, the cloud as the cover, and I say the cloud is hiding the sun, I say, right? All the time I say the cloud is hiding the sun. If something is hiding something else, what is hiding should be bigger than what is hidden. Is the cloud bigger than the sun? No. So it is not the sun that had a cloud on it. It is a cloud. Better than cloud, you take the finger. This finger, I can say, I can put it like this near the eyes. I cannot see the sun. What is hiding the sun? This little finger of mine. So I have an option to hide the truth from my vision. And what I have as an option or a default on me is avidya. Why the avidya came in, I don't care to know. But can I get rid of it? Yes, you can. How do I do that? Avidya, the antidote is vidya. Vidya is Sri Vidya. That means you start with upasana, karma seva, purify the mind. Then you go to Brahma Vidya or Adna Vidya or Mahavidya, where it leads you to upasana, to Hridayasanam, Hridayakasam. There is no Nama Rupa Guna Visesham because there is no Bedam. It's Abedam. So that's the one import of this mantra. Okay. The next mantra, next two mantras are again to concluding statement. Yatotakam durgye vrishtam parvadesh vitavati evam dharman pradak pashyam sthaneva sthaneva anvitavati yata durge vrishtam utakam. Utakam means water. Durge means the top of the mountain, unreachable. Vrishtam is rain. Yata utakam durge vrishtam. How the water falls from the mountain top. Where? Parvadeshu Vidavati. Around the mountain areas, Vidavati, they just go disappear. So the rain comes to the mountain water, It goes into different form, different river, and then goes into evam. Same way, dharman, dharman means those jivas, pruthak pashyan taneva anuvitavati. Anuvitavati means like the river that water just goes and disappear, he also goes and disappear. He dies. Who? Taneva pashyan. Pruthak means with the differences. Oh, this is Ganges, this is Yamuna, this is Sindhu, this is the canal. If you see them as different, you have not learned it. You are going to death after death after death. So it's the same water comes in, same Chaitanyam comes in different body. It's repeating the same thing, it's just concluding it. Therefore, don't have Veda Buddhi. Then what do I have to do? Naturally, you have to have a Veda Buddhi. So, Yadotakam Shuddhe Shuddhamasiktam Tatrukeva Bhavati. Evam Muner Vijanana Atma Bhavati Gautama. See, in the last verse, we have this word Vijigupsati. We saw in both. Vijigupsati means two meanings: no contempt, no protection. No contempt means what? No, contempt is a very bad thing. Even hate is okay. If I'm hating you and I abuse you in front of you, at least I'm caring about you. So you are in my mind. You can react to it. But contempt is just ignoring you as if you don't exist. It's a biggest insult that you can put on anybody. So contempt is a sin. So Vijigupsati means don't no contempt on anything. That means you respect everything. You have divinity. Even a pig is there. There's a divinity there. Navajigupsade. Other meaning of Navajigupsade is you don't protect yourself. You don't safeguard yourself. That means you become fearless. Why do you become fearless? Because you know God is going to protect you? No. That is a bhakti upasana middle step. God is not everywhere. God is in everywhere. You are not afraid because you cannot protect that can never be protected. That will always die. If something is going to die, can you save it? No. Therefore, what's the point of protecting it? So, you discard fear of protecting anything. You will never die. That means you are always protected. What do I have to protect myself? You know? That's the reason why. Because of the knowledge, you become free. Knowledge alone gives you freedom. You become free. So here he says, then I said, okay, I got this knowledge. I don't see the rivers as a different thing. In this mantra, it says another adjective here. Yatha utakam shuddhe. Last mantram, yatha utakam. Here it adds shuddhe. Look at the literal meaning. Utakam shuddhe, shuddham ashiktam. Ashiktam means when you're pouring it. When you are pouring pure water in a pure water, dadruk eva bhavati. It is also remain pure. You must take a pure water, then it can join the pure water to remain pure. Vijanata munehe. Who knows this knowledge? Muni. He calls them Muni. Who knows this knowledge? For him, evam, for them, Atma Bhavati. O Gautama. O Gautama is calling Nachiketa as Gautama. When he is so affectionate, he calls the family name. O Gautama. Like the pure water, when it mixes with the pure water, it becomes one with the pure water. Have that knowledge. That is the Muni. That is how you should have the understanding of it. The Shuddham here comes to what is flowing. The flowing is our Jiva Yatra. I was a Jiva Yatra, right? If you just take, the body is not you. Now you don't know the Atma, but you know that you are the Chidabhasan, your mind emotional bundle. You go from one body to other. We're having a Jiva Yatra. The Jiva Yatra had to have the final junction to merge with one with the Atma, means it has to be pure. If it's not pure, this pure water will not take it. It is repel it. The heart is pumping, right? It's pumping. The pump, what happened? The point of singularity, the physics institute are trying to find out, something expands because it's blasted. It contracts, expands, and contracts. The expansion and contraction makes this beating of the heart. Expands, contract. When there is no expansion, there is no contraction, there must be a point of singularity. Can I go there? When I go there, time doesn't exist, space doesn't exist. I am one with the Shivam. Science trying to find the point of singularity. Another theory in science tells you can never reach there because this constant palpitation of the cosmic heart will never let you reach there. Vedas gives you a different way. You cannot reach there because as long as you are not Shuddhatma, and there is impurity there, you cannot be there. The moment the purity is there, the asangatvam is gone, Sangam happens. This is the Mahamantram here. That means no matter how much you learn, how much you realize even the Atma Bhavam, but you cannot hold on to it because when Vidyasanam is impediment is the impure mind. That's why Vishwamitra fall many times, Durvasha fall many times, Narada fall many times. Because the Shuddha Chaitanyam can only take the Shuddha Atma. That means your constant Vidyasanam, constant Nishtha is needed. Only when that it becomes one with that. So with that, we finish the Pradhamavalli of second Adhyaya. Om Purnamada Purnamidam
पूर्णमिदं
Purnat Purnamudachyate
पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते
Purnasya Purnamadaya
पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय
Purnamevavasishtate.
पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
Hari Om Tat Sat.
हरि ओम् तत्सत्